Hello everybody, I am Michele. I'm located almost everywhere, Slack, GitHub, concrete5, forums and so on. And I'm here to present you this pretty nice add-on you can find in the concrete5 marketplace. It's called ACME, it's free, it's open source, you can find it also on GitHub, there's a link in the dashboard page, and it lets you to create HTTPS certificates for free using the ACME protocol, using the Let's Encrypt services, also other services that implement the ACME protocol. Let's start from the basis. I will show you how to use this add-on. First, I registered my domain, mlocati.cloud, and I'm going to create it in my VPS. I create the directory structure. I create a very simple website content. It works in the index file. And I configure the permissions. I define the website for Nginx, which responds to mlocati.cloud with and without the www to the port 80, standard HTTP protocol. Save. I enable this website, reload the Nginx configuration. That's it. My website should be up at the HTTP protocol with and without the www. So we created the website. I would like to add the HTTPS protocol, and so I need the certificate. I downloaded the ACME package into concrete5. I go to extend concrete5 and install the package. During the installation, it checks for some required PHP extensions. Those are not required, but improve the performance a lot. Install. It may take a while because it installs a few pages. We'll see them later. That's it. The package is installed. It allows you to define the ACME server you want to use. You can use test servers, staging servers, or the production servers. The version 1 of Let's Encrypt doesn't accept accounts anymore. So I go with the Let's Encrypt. I create an account at the Let's Encrypt server. Create account. That's it. I can go to the ACME dashboard section. You can find it under the System and Settings ACME dashboard page. Here you can see the defined ACME servers. We defined one, Let's Encrypt. The ACME accounts, we defined one. And we can see all the other data that's handled by the package. My website is on a remote VPS server. This is my development machine. So I need to connect to the remote server. So I define a new remote server, add remote server, give it a name of my choice, VPS. It's available at this address. And how can we connect to the server? Via FTP or SFTP protocol. I suggest to use the SFTP protocol because later on we need to reload the Nginx configuration. The FTP protocol doesn't allow you to execute remote commands. So it's better to use one of the SFTP protocols. Sorry, one moment, I configure it from my own server. I won't show you my data, sorry. One moment. Okay. Save. That's it. It's saved. Now I can define the domains for the HTTPS certificate. The domains are defined here, and you simply enter the domain name. It checks for deviation problems. I won't explain you the details of it, but it checks for security problems that may be related to international charters. Here is an example, but my domain name is the standard one. Now the domain is on a remote server, which is in my VPS, and the web root directory is here. Save. I define first the www domain. It connects to remote server, checks the permission, directory permissions, and I define also the domain without the W prefix. Same as before, my VPS, cloud, save. Okay, I defined the two domains. Now I can define the certificate. The certificate will be one for both domain. We define the www domain as primary domain. Each certificate may contain more than one certificate, but you can define the primary one. I define this one. Save. Now we still don't have the HTTPS certificate. We need to generate it, but before generating it, we need to define some actions. I mean, when you generate a certificate, you have to upload it to the remote web server and reload the Nginx configuration or Apache configuration, whatever you use. So we say that after creating the certificate, we want to save the certificate private key here, and the certificate and the certificate here. Here you find some suggestions about the web server, which files are required by which web server. And next, once the files have been uploaded, we'll need to run service nginx reload to let nginx reload the new certificate or the renewed certificate. Save and done. Now we are ready to generate the certificate. Generate certificate. It may take a while. It's contacting Let's Encrypt. It's asking him to authorize the domain to generate the certificate. Okay. We submitted the order for a new certificate. Okay. Let's Encrypt authorized the use of the two domains. The certificate has been created, and the action uploaded the two files and executed the command nginx service nginx reload, which didn't output anything. Okay, so we have to reconfigure our website, adding the SSL protocol, standard HTTPS port, same domain names, and now we have the two certificate files. Save and reload the configuration. Now we should have the website available at the HTTPS address. Here it is. Let's view the details about the certificate. More information, view certificate. Let's encrypt. Nice. This also works for the domain without the www. Here it is. Nice. The package also offers a lot of CLI commands. Here's the full list of these commands. You can define the ACME servers, the ACME accounts, define, list, delete, modify, everything. You can define the domains, you can define the certificates. For example, we want to list the certificate, the domain. We want to list the defined certificates. We want the details about the certificate. Everything is there. The most useful command is for sure the certificate refresh, which is built, studied to be put in a cron tab, a cron job, so that the renewal of the certificates is automatic. I mean, the HTTPS certificates generated by the Let's Encrypt last for about 90 days. So you should have to remember to renew the certificates, to renew them a few days before their expiration. So it's better to schedule this command. For example, you can call it like this. No action to be executed because the certificate is not going to expire. There are no actions to be performed. We can force the execution of the actions, that is uploading the certificate files and restarting the Nginx web server. We can also force the generation of new certificates. Sorry. Even if it's not going to expire soon, with a force renew option. The same process as we saw in the web interface. Renewed, files upload. Here it is. The package also offers a few logs about what happened, about their certificates. You can see the details. You can download the internal stuff. I mean, the certificate in binary, in PEN format, the private key. You can view the renewal history. This is the first one we ran in the web interface. This is via the CLI interface. When a certificate is renewed, the previous one, for security reason, is revoked. So here we see the first certificate, the one which we generated in the web interface, which has been expired, which has been revoked, sorry. And that's it. I mean, I developed this package for the company where I work for, and we are using it at the moment to maintain the certificate for about 42 websites. And yeah, it works, and I hope it will work will be helpful for some of you also. Thank you. See you. Ciao. Ciao. Ciao.